Hey guys, what's going on here? The Goblin Kings are back at it with a EDH deck. Today is Krenko the mob boss. Now Krenko is mono red, just very aggro, very at it. Before you build this deck or anything, there's some precautions. This deck is very aggro, it's mono red, and it brings a lot of attention to itself. You're not making friends with this deck, by the way. It's all about killing your opponents as fast as possible. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, we have Krenko's lieutenants, which is basically people that are side by side with Krenko. Goblin War Chief, Goblin Chieftain, Goblin King. Chieftain and the King both give them +1/+1 and mountain walk and stuff in haste. And Goblin War Chief lets Goblin spells cost one less to cast, which is really good. So yeah. Next up are some really powerful cards in this deck. Forphoros, God of the Forge. Basically, his third ability there is whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 2 damage to each opponent, which basically means when you tap Krenko and let's say you put 10 goblins on the battlefield, you're putting 20 damage to each opponent, which is really good. Second up, Descent of the Dragons. Train all those 1/1 goblins into 4/4 red dragons with flying is really good, really powerful. So yeah. And then Mod Catcher, letting you tutor for any goblin is really good, and letting you put it on the battlefield. So yeah, maybe putting one of his lieutenants on the battlefield, spot on. Next up, the artifacts that will pump our goblins and help them out. You got Cage Sun, giving them +1/+1. Dwarf Destinies, which is really good again with Krenko. Eldrazi Monument, giving them +1/+1. Fine, indestructible, really good. Hall of Triumph, just a basic +1/+1. Obelisk of Erd, +2/+2. Adaptive Automaton, +1/+1. Gauntlet of Power, +1/+1. Metallic Mimic, +1/+1. These cards are all really good with goblins. Turning those 1/1s into even 2/2s are so powerful, when you have so many of them. Putting in extra damage every turn. All these cards, all these artifacts are going to help us out a lot. So yeah, keep these in mind because these are really powerful. This is what makes the deck shine. Getting these goblins really big is what matters. Some of the other artifacts, you got Stoneforge Masterwork, which gives it +1/+1 for each creature that shares the creature type with it. Powerful. Same with Sigil Veiler, Skull Clamp. If you need to be drawing cards, you can Skull Clamp some of your own goblins to draw cards. Ruby Medallion, having red spells cost 1 less to cast, really good. Mage Rat Stone, 1,000-Year Elixir, Umbral Mantle, basically will untap Krenko and let you tap him again, which is really cool. And yeah, these are just some other cool artifacts. They don't really pump our goblins, but they help a lot. Here are some of our turn 1 goblins that will help out. You got Goblin Guide, basically Goblin Lackey, which when it does combat damage to a player, you put a goblin from your hand on the battlefield. Um, Goblin Soothsayer, sacrificing a goblin to give them +1/+1. Good. Legion Loyalist, giving them, trample and first strike, really powerful. Square Prospector, sacrificing as many goblins as you need to get as much mana as you need, really powerful too. Next up is some other powerful creatures that aren't turn 1 but really help a lot. Goblin Pile Driver gets +2/+0 for every other attacking goblin. Good. Mtg Commander, you're putting 3 1/1 goblins on the field and then paying 2 to sacrifice a goblin to do 2 damage to target creature or player. Really good goblin. Goblin Rabble Master, getting a 1/1 at the beginning of the turn. Pretty good. Voracious Dragon, it's a really powerful card. It's an end game. Basically, eating as many goblins as you need to kill your opponent is really powerful. And then it gets that many counters. Goblin Matron, tutoring for any goblin and putting it in your hand. Pretty good. Goblin Recruiter, tutoring and putting them on top of your library. Also very powerful. Arms Dealer, good removal, solid. Paying 2 and sacrificing goblin to do 4 damage to target creature. It's really good. Bloodmark Mentor is red creatures you control have haste. Basic, but gets the job done. Skirt Fire Marshal, This is good because does 10 damage to each player, each creature and each player, which is really good. But you have to tap 5 goblins. Reckless 1, power and toughness equal to the number of goblins you control. These are all really good cards. There's obviously some better, but these are the ones that I think really shine. Some of the instants in the deck, there aren't that many. Most of these are just killing your opponent with as much creatures as you control. So yeah, stuff like Massive Raid, doing as much damage as you can with as many creatures as you control. Same without number, but that's only to a creature. And then Battleheim, him, adding mana for each creature you control. And then Trumpet, Blast, yeah. Attacking creatures you get +2/+0 until end of turn. It's really powerful. Some of the sorceries in the deck. You got Burn at the Stake, tapping as many creatures as possible and doing that much damage. Goblin Grenade, sacrificing a goblin to do 5 damage. Goblin Rally, putting 4 1/1 red goblin creature tokens on the battlefield. Goblin Offense, put X 1/1 red goblin creature tokens onto the battlefield. Mog Infestation, destroy all creatures target player controls. For each creature that is destroyed that way, put a 1/1 red goblin. Put 2 1/1 red goblins into play. Again, just another dragons. Thought I should put that on again. Mob Justice, another pretty good one. Wheel of Fortune, just basic in any red deck really. Empty the Warrens, good one. Goblin War Strike, kind of kill your opponent right there with 1 mana. It's really, really cool. Some enchantments that I use is, Outpost Siege, Shared Animosity, really cool. Goblin Assault, you get a 1/1 at the beginning of your upkeep. Berserker's Onslaught, giving them double strike, really cool. Of course, Blood Moon, pairing this with Goblin King is really powerful, obviously. And Goblin Bombardment, sacrificing a goblin can, if you tap Krenko, you get 40 goblins, kill your opponent right there. Goblin Caves, giving them +0/+2, it's good. And then Goblin War Drums, which basically gives your goblins menace. And some of the lands. Now, Cavern of Souls, making Krenko uncounterable is really powerful, really cool. Nykthos, Shine to Nyx. You're getting mana for each creature you control with that creature type, obviously. So yeah, that's really cool. Buried Ruin, in case one of your artifacts gets destroyed, you can bring it back, which is really good. In case one of them get destroyed. Reliquary Tower, Skull Clamp. If you're drawing a lot of cards, you can, draw as many as you want. Not have to worry about discarding. So yeah, this is my commander video over Krenko. There's obviously more cards you could put in here, but I thought I would just put like a highlight video. So yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like. Thanks for watching and tune into the other videos. Thank you.